foolish mortals.
Hello there. Are you insane? Get out of here!
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
Right, off you go.
Welcome to Average Joe Orlando. Hello, theme park goers. Welcome to another episode of Average Joe Orlando. Today we're going to do a front row review and advice on a bucket list item for me, Universal's Hollywood VIP tour. So I just came back recently from a trip to Universal Hollywood out in Studio City, LA, and this was definitely something I've always wanted to do. I've been to Universal Hollywood quite a few times, also been to Universal Orlando, obviously, many times, and also Universal Japan. But Universal Hollywood is interesting. It's very different. It wasn't really built as a theme park. It was built as a movie studio. And it's still kind of half and half, and that's what kind of makes it fun. It's not really the biggest for rides. It's not really the biggest footprint for a theme park. They don't really have a lot of room to expand, but they do have that awesome backlot. And I think that's why I really wanted to do the VIP tour, because it really emphasizes on the backlot and the movie making. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So today I kind of want to talk to you about what my experience was, what to expect on the tour, some pricing, some do's and don'ts, and how I enjoyed it overall. So yeah, let's dive right in. So our check-in time was around, I believe, 10:15 it started. It said you can get there early. It did say about 30 minutes early. We got there because we did take an Uber. We were staying over at Disneyland and Ubered over for the day, and gave a lot of time because, you know, LA traffic, and you don't want to get there late because they will start without you, and you do not want to have to hop on a different tour and inconvenience them. So we checked in over at the VIP area, which is to the right side of their regular area. So we checked in. They gave us some lanyards. They gave us ponchos, which they said, hold on to these. They're going to come in handy later in the tour. And it was a beautiful day out, so it wasn't for the rain, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. And they said you can go upstairs and enjoy the breakfast, or the park just opened, and opened at 9 a.m. that day. So feel free to go and enjoy the park. Your express passes work. And what was cool about it, on your lanyard that you have for your VIP experience has a barcode on the back, which was unlimited express all day. So it wasn't one of those you could use it once, or you can only use it at certain times. It was go on as much as you want all day, and the park was open until 6 p.m. that evening. They don't have very late hours usually at Universal Hollywood. So we're like, well, let's go venture into the park, see what we can see. So we just walked around, saw some characters, and then said, let's go get some breakfast. Upstairs, they had like light bites breakfast. They had coffee, fruit, yogurt, little croissant sandwiches, nothing too heavy. But what I did like they had a cell phone charging station where you can charge your phone. They had bottles of water. They had the VIP branded like tissue packets, VIP branded lip balm. So they just felt like a little bit of an exclusive area. They also had a lot of things on display, which was neat since it's Universal Hollywood, and they have actual things. They had the Emmy from The Office. They had the original script from E.T. They had movies playing, and then we sat outside, and you could look down and watch everybody coming into the park and kind of take a view of everybody coming in, which was nice. Then we waited. Our VIP tour guide walked around and said, hey, which one are you on? Great, you're going to be with me. We're going to meet here. So it just felt like a very big, like, all right, get excited. Now, the tour is broken up into two sections. It's broken up by lunch halfway through, and you start off either doing the park or you start off doing the tram tour, a private tram tour. We started off in the park, so he told us, hey, so this is what to expect. We're going to start off in the park, and then we're going to take a break for lunch at 1:10, I believe our time was. And then in the afternoon, we'll do the VIP private tram tour. So we started off, and he said, let's go. We're going to head into the park, gave us a break to use the restrooms, whatever we needed, and we headed to the lower lot. So Universal Hollywood is broken up into two sections, the upper lot and the lower lot. And I think it's like 3 or 4 giant escalators because it's literally built on the side of a hilltop. So we took all the escalators down. He told us some fun facts about the park, asked us what we're interested in seeing, which was really great. And I definitely jumped up right away and started talking to him and probably chatted his ear off and nerded out about TV shows and this is my favorite show, where is this filmed, etc. I was probably that guy in the tour, but it's fine, whatever. And so we went down to the lower lot where they have the Transformers ride, which is the exact same one as in Orlando. This one was there first. We did that ride through Express, didn't wait, walked us on. The nice part is a lot of the rides you can't bring bags on, so he will hold your bags for you if you like. And then also If you don't want to ride, you could let them know, say, hey, I get motion sickness, or hey, I'm not interested in this ride. No problem. You could wait with him on the side. Also, how do you want to sit on it? So we had a group of 5, and most of the rides are 4. So we're like, let's do 3 and 2. And it was fun because he'll group for you. Our tour guide will grab the 3D glasses for you. It's basically everything is catered for you. We then ventured over to Jurassic World, the ride. Jurassic World, the ride is similar to the one in Orlando, the Jurassic Park River Adventure, except it has a world layover, so it's much bigger and better. The cool thing about this one is this is where the ponchos came in handy, where a family on the tour literally went, oh, we didn't take ponchos, because I guess since it wasn't raining, they figured they didn't need ponchos. But spoiler alert, you needed ponchos for this ride. So it's nice. Universal did provide ponchos, and for that family that didn't pick them up, or I guess didn't keep them, he was able to actually already grab ponchos for them. So already prepared on it. He even told us if you ever get lost during the tour or can't find him for some reason, any gift shop we can go into, just give his name and they're able to page him on his cell phone, which was really nice. So it was one of those that you really couldn't get lost. We went on Jurassic World. He told us where we could sit, grouped us, held bags. We put on all our ponchos. The ride was awesome, and we all stayed dry, which was even better. And when you got off the ride, it was fun because they have an area where you could recycle your ponchos, and other guests were going, how did they get ponchos? Wait, why did they get ponchos? And I'm like, because we're VIP, which was neat. So I've been on this ride before. I've been here quite a few years ago and got to ride, and I did not wear a poncho, and I got soaked. So it was definitely nice changing up the experience this time. After that, we went over to Revenge of the Mummy, which is similar to the one in Orlando, but also different, if that makes sense. There's a different storyline. It does different things, and there's no Brendan Fraser, unfortunately, so that's kind of sad. However, it was still great. Once again, he'll hold your bags. It's whatever you want. He said his most he's done, I think, was like 18 times in one day he got to do this, which was neat. So it's one of those things, if you do like a private tour, you could do it as much as you like. We were on a group VIP, so we were with, I want to say 12 people in total. We were 5. There was a family of 3, another family of 3, and then I want to say somebody by themselves. I can't do math, but there was a good amount of people, but it never felt overly like packed. And everybody was kind of on the same page, too, because he would stop after the rides and go, anybody have to use the restroom? Great, we're going to meet here in 5 minutes. So it was one of those, you had your time, but you could also kind of do what you like, but you're also included. We went into Super Nintendo World, which is down on the lower lot. This is smaller than the one in Japan and then the one in Epic. This is just the Super Mario ride, and it's one level because they don't have as much property out there. As soon as we got in, he talked about some of the logistics of the area, told us some of like the history, and then pointed to the power-up bands where people can go buy power-up bands if they wanted to. The power-up bands do work in each park. I forgot mine from Japan, unfortunately, but we didn't really have time to use it anyway because we were go. We went right over to the Mario Kart ride, and we went through Express and got right on it. And I believe this was something that was different when the park opened, or when this area opened, that you could only do it once and your Express didn't work. He did inform us that did change, and Express now does work on this ride, and so we could have went back after the tour if we wanted to re-ride it also. I will say I rode this in Japan, and I didn't like it, and now I rode this in Hollywood, and didn't really like it still. It's not for everyone. Either you like it or you think it's okay. It's okay. It's a slow-moving ride with the AR goggles, and it's kind of just, it's fine. Like, it's like a video game. It could have been better. It's definitely not my favorite. Definitely more of a family-friendly ride instead of an intense thrill ride, but it is what it is. They have other great rides. But we got to do that one, talked about our coins, how much did everybody get, what's the best in the group. And then from that point, we went back upstairs to the upper lot, and we went over to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, this is same Hogsmeade as it is in Japan and in Orlando, and I believe Beijing has one too. So they just have the one area, and we went on Flight of the Hippogriff. At this point, 2 of my friends were like, we don't need to do the Harry Potter rides. We're good. We're going to go to the bar, and kudos, get that. I'm a ride nerd, so I definitely was like, I'm going to go on more rides. So I had a ride with one of the dads in the group who was 6'4", and we went on Flight of the Hippogriff, and that is a tight squeeze ride. And our tour guide pointed out, you'll be fine. The Rock fit on this ride. So I was like, wait, The Rock was on your tour? That's cool. I'm short, so I fit on it fine. We did Flight of the Hippogriff, and then we did Forbidden Journey, which is a little bit different than the one in Orlando. I just think a few more Dementors, but basically the same ride as over there. Then we had a few more minutes just to explore. He's like, hey, it was one of those things that if we had more time, we would have done Secret Life of Pets. However, since we were kind of short on time and we had to get to lunch soon, it was said, hey, take 10 minutes, enjoy Wizarding World, go to the shops, wherever you want, get a butter beer, and then meet in the front. So we all went off on our way. I did get a butter beer. And then I will say your annual pass discounts do not work out here. I went over to the Hogsmeade or Hogshead Brewing place, and I got myself a butter beer. And she asked, do you have any discounts? I said, no, I have a universal annual pass, but not one here. And then she gave me the discount anyway, which was really nice. That usually won't happen, especially on merchandise, because I did buy stuff later. But that was great. We met up in the front of Hogsmeade, and he said, hey, we're going to be meeting here. Gave us a time after lunch, and make sure you're here early because we do combine with another group. So for the private tram tour, typically the tram tour is this long tram. We get a private like trolley, and it's a small trolley that only fits about 2 groups. So it's less than, I guess 12, probably less than 30 people on this trolley. So it's small. You get 2 guides and a driver that takes you around. And since it's smaller, it can take you on different areas and then park, and then you can get out of the backlot tour and walk around, or the backlot tram. So he's like, hey, if we get here first and everybody's back on time, then we get first dibs on seats. So I was like, yes, we will be back on time. And he's like, and use the restroom before you come. So he walked us over to our private lunch area, and this was this restaurant over by the Minion area, the French Paris area, I guess. And we walked in, and there's tables on the inside, tables on the outside. And we sat outside, and it looked over the Hollywood Hills and the new Fast and the Furious coaster. And it was a full buffet. And I was like, it's Universal food. How good would it be? It was excellent. And I will critique theme park food for not being good usually. This was really good. They had a gigantic buffet. It started out with, all the appetizers. They had a really good like butter chicken. They had obviously chicken tenders, which I definitely loaded up on. And then they had a whole dessert area where they were making crepes, ice cream, little cookies. They had a whole carving station with the chef carving over there, and you can go up as much as you want. Then they also had a whole charging station where you can go put your phones down and charge up if you like. And then they had coffee bar as well as unlimited water, whatever you wanted to like load up on drinks, everything just non-alcoholic. Real plates. They had servers coming around clearing everything. And as we're sitting outside, the characters came around, which was neat. So as we're sitting there, Doc Brown came by, and then Lucille Ball came by and interacts with you. So it's kind of like a private character dining. They had restrooms up there. So it was really nice. It gave you, I think, a little over an hour just to kind of relax. And then we were like, let's hurry up and go. And we finished up after we definitely got a lot more food. All of us went up for seconds because the food was that good. And none of us needed seconds. We definitely felt rough after, but it was worth it. And we were the first ones on the tram, which was great. So he brought us over to our private tram. And as soon as you got on the tram, there was a giant cooler, a built-in cooler, not like a little igloo cooler, with bottles of water. So you had water your entire time. And every seat had a pair of 3D glasses. The other tour group came, and we were off and on the backlot, which was great. So if you've never been on the backlot, there, it is very interesting because you never know what you're going to see. I have been lucky enough to do it quite a few times, and I have now seen every aspect of it, but it took, I think, like 3 or 4 visits before seeing it. They did inform us that there was a pre-production getting ready for a new film on the New York set, so I was really bummed out because that's where the clock tower is for Back to the Future, and if you get to go on that set during this tour, you get to get out and walk around the Hill Valley set, take a picture with the clock tower. But they were getting ready for a filming. It was a Sunday, so there wasn't a lot of filming going on, which was a positive and kind of the reason I wanted to go on a Sunday because I didn't want to go on a day where they were going to film. If you go during the week and they're filming, they said a lot of times you can't go inside sound stages. So while we were there, they were filming a lot of different shows, and they informed us that today we were going to get to go into a soundstage of a TV show, and they brought us into the set of St. Denis Medical, which is a newer show on NBC, and I actually watched this show, And I was the only one in the tour group that watched the show, so I was probably the most excited because I'm like, oh, I know this set. So they walked you into a soundstage, and it's just a lot of plywood. There's a security guard there, and they go, okay, we're going to come this way, and you could film whatever you want, and you turn the corner, and you're in a full hospital, which was fascinating. So you are in this TV show set that you have watched, or I have at least watched. On the back lot that day, they said they also had other sets for other shows that they were filming. They were filming the show Hacks on HBO. They were filming Bel Air on Peacock, and I don't know. They wouldn't tell us what the movie was that they were filming next door. They said they couldn't tell us that. So I guess in a few years when it comes out, we'll have to try to figure out which one it is. But we got to walk around a whole set, ask a lot of questions, and then after that we hopped back on the tram tour and we drove around the back lot to the prop warehouse. And this is an area that, once again, you don't see on the regular tour. On the regular tour, you don't get to go to a soundstage because you can't get off the tram, and you don't get to go to the prop warehouse. Now, the prop warehouse, once again, security guard, and no photos were allowed in this area. And this was a big building, and they had tons of stuff in there. And this was all things that, like, you can just go in and rent if you are making a TV show or a movie. So we were looking at all the tags, and we saw things for the new Suits show that they were labeled for the show 911. Really interesting to see, like, how things are just basically reused for things, and you can kind of just go in. Kind of felt like a big Home Goods, but cooler, I guess, because I don't really like Home Goods. After that, we got to go over to I guess it's the European set area. Oh, we did do the Kong, so the Kong frontation. Word to the wise, hold on, there are no seatbelts, and there's no side thing, so and that ride throws you around a lot. That's all I'll say. But then, we went over to the European set, and there's a restroom, and the restroom is inside the area called Everything Chocolate. And this was the set from The Good Place, if you watch the show The Good Place. And it was really funny because they said this was kind of like a little funny thing that they put in there, that they made the Everything Chocolate building the restroom. So we used the restroom on the back lot, and then we got to just walk around and explore. This was also the set from Princess Diaries 2, and they used it for Pirates of the Caribbean. And then you turn the corner, and it's like the old European area, and it was from all the old Universal Classic monsters. And our tour guide pointed out to us, he's like, did you ever see the Cinderella movie with Brandy? And we're like, yeah, obviously. And he's like, this is the town that, like, they lived in. Like, this is, like, the set. And we're like, oh, my God, you're great. So that was really cool to walk around and see all these different sets and actually get to walk around. We even noticed the tram tour wasn't coming up that way that day. So even if you did the regular tram tour, you weren't going to get to see these sets. For some reason, that area was closed. Also, area that was closed was the Earthquake set. So the same one that used to be in Universal, where they replaced it with Fast and the Furious. That was closed, unfortunately. So we didn't get to go over there. But they did take us around to the Western areas, talked about the Western sets. Then we got to see the most important part of the tour, Jaws. And it was cool because as Jaws comes out of the water, the driver backs up. So Jaws is kind of following your tram down, which was neat. Got to do some of the other sets back there, the water effects, and then head up towards the top. Now, this was the area that I was like, oh, we'll hopefully get out at the Desperate Housewives Street. I don't know what they call it back there, but it's like the Wisteria Lane. And so we drive by, and they said, unfortunately, they're filming a movie on that street right now, and we weren't able to. Now, I did get to go down this one in the past. It's funny, after being on that street, Colonial Street, that's what they call it. And they've used Colonial Street in a ton of things. So if you ever watch the show like Never Have I Ever, the movie The Burbs, The Munsters, Leave It to Beaver, the new Wayfarer commercials, the show Ted, and obviously Desperate Housewives. It's like constantly used, the same street. They just like paint the houses differently or get it from different angles, but it's literally the exact same street and the same like 7 houses. So it stinks that we weren't able to go down there that day. But that was right over there. We turned the corner and got to see the Bates Motel, which was neat. And they had Norman Bates comes out. If you've ever done the tour, all of a sudden, like, you're in front of the actual Bates Motel, and his house is up on the hill. And he brings a dead body and puts it in the trunk, and then chases after your tram with a knife. Family-friendly stuff. It was great. Then you get to go to the War of the World sets, which is really neat and terrifying. And then you turn the corner and you're on the set of Nope, which is new. And I didn't get to see this one last time. You get to walk around that set actually during Halloween Horror Nights. So I would love to come back for Halloween Horror Nights and get to actually walk the set of Nope. And then you end it with the most disappointing finale ever, which is the Fast and the Furious Supercharged, the same one as Universal. And that's how they end this tour. So you have this great tour, and then you drive in and you have to do the Fast and the Furious. And unfortunately for us, it like broke halfway through the second pre-show. You know, when he says, we don't report to nobody, or nobody, I don't know. He speaks in like double negatives, but we're on the pre-show, and then it has to reset. So like, okay, we're going to go around one more time. And I was like, did we have to? But we did. So we did the Fast and the Furious Supercharged. Great. And then the tour was over, and they drive us up. They talked to us a little bit about it. We have some time with our tour guide, and then we're allowed to use the park for the rest of the day. So we had about 2.5 hours after the tour to just explore the park and do whatever we want with our express passes. And this is where you can go back to Nintendo if you want, re-ride things. We didn't get to do during our tour Minions, Secret Life of Pets, or Simpsons, so that's a chance to do that. The tram tour did close at 4:15, so by the time that we were done, it was already closed for the day, so we weren't able to go on the regular tram tour, but we kind of got the better version, so it's okay. We did go over to do Secret Life of Pets, which was like a 40-minute wait at that point, so that was great that we got to go right on with Express. And then we just kind of ventured around, shopped a little bit. I always got a mug because I love a good mug, and a Universal Hollywood sweatshirt. Unfortunately for us, Waterworld, the show, was closed for refurbishment, so we didn't get to do that. So I know my friends that came out will be coming back, and I want to come back because I love that park. And that was basically our tour for the day. And you're probably wondering, well, was it worth the price? What was the price? So price to get into that park for one day is, I think, around $100. And then if you want the Unlimited Express, it's over $100. So you're thinking about, what, $250 for the day just for that. So our tour cost a little over $400 per person. And you're probably like, dang, that's a lot of money. It is. However, when you think about you're going to be paying for one day there over $250 for the just Express, you got to do a VIP tour, and then we got all of our food included, so we didn't have to buy anything while we were in the park. Well, I bought a butterbeer, but whatever. And a mug, and a sweatshirt. I digress. So you got breakfast, lunch, and then they give you bottles of water all day, whatever, all of your drinks were included for the day, non-alcoholic. And then you also got that private access to the backlot, which to me was worth the tour in itself, and I would do just the backlot tour. I'd be like, you don't need to take me on rides, just let's do the tour. Getting to go on a set of a TV show, especially one that I watched, the prop warehouse, walking around the sets, asking all the questions, definitely worth it. It does change seasonally. We were there on a Sunday that was a slower day during the slower part of the year, so that is towards the bottom of how much the price will be, the lower. But overall, definitely worth it. Highly recommend it. Not something that you have to do every time, and they do different tours. They said you could always call over to Universal, and they could do a private one. They could do just the walking tour, not the backlot tour. They have all different versions, kids versions, so it really depends on what you want. They get tailored to your need. Like I said, we did the group VIP experience, which was fantastic. Plus our tour guide was fantastic as well. So if Bobby is listening, Bobby, you were fantastic. And we had such a good experience, and I would highly recommend it. I came home and I said that was the highlight of my whole vacation out there. Little do's and don'ts. Do make sure you're always on time. You're in a group tour, so don't be that person that shows up late. Luckily, my group was fantastic, and everybody showed up early, so we were able to get on the tram early. We were able to meet early. We were able to do everything on time, which is great because you don't want one group to be behind, and then that holds you up, and then that kind of ruins your experience. And then also tip your tour guide. So it's not included a tip, and it's not told that you have to, but if your tour guide does a great job, throw them some extra money. That's obviously at your discretion. I like to go off the same one of the 18% gratuity, or talk to your friends about how much they want to do so that you could all do it together. But I did notice, I think it was everybody in the group did tip afterwards, and you should always do that. That's up to you how much you want to do, but show your tour guide you appreciate them. We did that for our RIP tour, and we did it for Halloween Horror Nights. Also, we all collected and then made sure we gave at the end, who was also fantastic. But, yeah, I guess that's more do's than don'ts. Don't miss it. There you go. Anyway, I hope you learned something, and hopefully one day you could check it out also, because it was a great experience. And with that, I will see you at the parks.
Thanks for taking a ride with Average Joe Orlando.
You made it! I knew you would. Is everyone okay?
Hope you still want to open an account.
Say cheese. See you later.
Thanks, everybody. You were brilliant.
At this time, gather up your personal belongings and take your small grubs by their grubby little hands as you exit. Thank you.